Why is it that we, as human beings, are sometimes driven by an insatiable curiosity to travel, to seek and wander beyond our own backyard? Perhaps it's because deep within us there's a spark that craves connection, discovery and growth, fueled by the experiences that unfold as we journey through life. It's in those moments of discovery that we truly feel alive. In a bold act of liberation, Jason and I quit our jobs in 2014, gave up the comforts of home and embraced a nomadic existence on two wheels, embarking on an adventure that would redefine our perspective on the world. Yes, it sounds bold and risky, but the most dangerous risk of all was the risk of spending our lives not doing what we wanted, on the bet that we could buy ourselves the freedom to do it later. The hardest part of the trip was making the decision to go. Our aspiration was to live a more authentic life and not live a life governed by the values and norms of others.
So it began with a ride from England through the Eurotunnel and over to Belgium to embark on a voyage with our bikes aboard the Grand Hamburgo and cross the Atlantic Ocean. After sailing nearly 7,000 miles over 27 days, we finally docked in Uruguay. Gratefully, our crossing was seamless, offering us the perfect way to decompress after planning our first big bike trip with little gear and even less of an idea. After battling fierce Patagonian winds to reach the bottom of South America, a place called Ushuaia, it was too good an opportunity not to jump on a ship and sail to the White Continent, Antarctica.
Antarctic peninsula is steeped in as much ice as uniqueness, nothing but silence, sacred and profound. Icebergs protruded in a white world, encircled by a midnight blue ocean. An audible snap, crackle and pop of the bergs constantly vied for my attention. It's one of the purest places on Earth in a serene, dramatic space. With a stream of wise counsel from the Jason School of Motivation, such as, "Come on, princess, I can't ride your bike for you," or "Give it some beans, Captain Slow," alongside, to be fair, Jason's unwavering patience to play the long game with me, the shared experience actually deepened our bond and drew us closer together. Despite the arduous payouts of big distance riding that made the Americas tough, the tough is what made it so great, euphoric even. To my mind, earning your spurs elevates the experience on a bike trip. Having passed my test shortly before setting off required a giant leap of faith. Ha! I didn't exactly show the makings of a natural rider. So, with no real experience to date, I intensively learned the ropes, although the daily challenge remained, negotiating loose gravel, losing control to have slow speed crashes, or the fear of succumbing to catastrophic wheelies. 2 of these events became all too routine on our jaunt through the Americas. For me, there is nothing more liberating than being plugged into the energy of a place astride a bike. It's an endless loop of sunrises and sunsets, making a fire next to our wheels, throwing the sleeping bags on the ground to stargaze before falling asleep to the sound of coyotes howling in the distance, and feasting our eyes on amazing wildlife from one epic wilderness to the next.
Look!
Oh yeah.
Oh
Wow.
wow! Unbelievable.
And you know what? It was the people we met along the way that truly made this journey extraordinary. Musing on those we've met since our travels began in 2000. What people! We've met wise, giving, spirited lives, which I wouldn't have done without our love for the road. Life compels me to think we are where we should be. Folks welcomed us with open arms. Their warmth and hospitality enriched our lives beyond measure, and we found ourselves hanging out with some of them for weeks on end. These moments forged lifelong friendships that we cherish to this day. We're so grateful.
1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little Indians, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little Indians sitting in the Indian row.
After the 4.5-year Americas trip in 2018, the new plan was to ship the bikes over to Cape Town and ride them up the African continent. However, a nagging thought remained. At best, we could only carry food and water for 2 days, riding in remote places. This dictated how far into the backcountry we could venture. Coupled with our heavy bikes, if the unthinkable should happen, where one or both of us has an accident and breaks a bone, then we've got a situation. Plus, the fact that most game parks would refuse us entry anyway on 2 wheels for the obvious reason we might get eaten.
So we decided to change tack and sourced a 2015 Toyota Hilux 2.5 litre turbo diesel in the UK, affectionately called White Rhino.
So we thought the aerial would foul it, but it appears we've got like 2 mil
to play.
After years astride the bikes, we'd be lying if we didn't admit to yearning for a mode of transportation that offered greater comfort, a means that was self-sustaining beyond a mere charging point on a motorcycle, and equipped with more refrigeration capacity than an insulated water bottle. Moreover, facilitate some lock-up and leave our vehicle freedom. The self-sustaining benefits afforded by a 4-berth rooftop tent, solar and lithium, and mains power all over the rig, an induction hob embedded into the tailgate, a shower, litres of refrigerated magic and filtered water brought overlanding bliss. In Rhino, we packed the essentials and all the thoroughly nice to haves as well. Coffee cup in my left hand, Jace on my right, we overlanded to Denmark's northern beaches, explored Norway, ferried over to the windswept Faroes in the shoulder season, and moored up in Iceland in a snowy October for 10 weeks of sublime craziness. There will always be pieces of our planet that have defied all endeavours to tame them. Iceland is one of those places. It sharpens the sense that there's no time to sit around and compare our lives to others. It's a place that will make you stop trying to matter. It left me ready to simply live. Hilux is more than a collection of moving parts. It holds precious memories, taking us to places I only dreamt of as a kid. I'm immensely grateful for these experiences. Travelling in a safe metal box for months on end has caused us to plateau, having reached an intersection after 5 years. While the bikes added meaning to our lives, why the heck would we go back to them when the truck offers so much comfort and convenience? Motorcycle travel exposes us to harsh elements, breakdowns, crashes, and limits our ability to sink into a place off-grid for extended periods. It's a no-brainer to stay in the truck. So, where are we heading next?
Back to North America.
And how will we travel?
On bikes, of course. Despite the truck's ability to stay off-grid for longer, it lacks the very essence we seek above all else in our journeys: thrilling vulnerability. Travel needs a certain amount of effort to give it meaning and make it worthwhile.
Yes, I suppose when things do come too easily, excitement fades and familiarity erases the challenge. You'll never remember that perfect day as much as you'll talk about when things went spectacularly wrong. The unexpected mishaps and unpredictable turn of events is where the real adventure resides. Sure, it may seem like we're contradicting ourselves, and, well, I guess we are. The truth is, there's no perfect vehicle. Each has its own place and value. That's why we're exercising our right to change our minds. Later this year, after loading up on motorcycle gear and kick-starting new aspirations, it's time to give recognition to White Rhino for giving us the break and comparison we needed, taking us to places that lifted the roof off our brains. I'm also indebted that Jace and I are still pulling in the same direction after 23 years, knowing where our hearts currently lie. That is, to imbibe everything an unscripted, two-wheeled life has to give.